Welcome back to Crackerjack Movie Chat. I am, as always, your host, Peter J. McCluskey, joined by Robert Toom.
Hello.
And this episode's coming completely out of left field, at least the content of this episode, because right as I'd logged into this Zoom session and I'm waiting for Robert to come in, I just opened Wiki just to have it open, just so I can have like a tab for what we're going to discuss today. And then all of a sudden I see a headline: Amazon buys MGM. Amazon buys MGM. So this is colossal, Robert. And I think we said what the figure is, 8.5 billion, something like that.
Yeah, $8.45 billion, which they're saying BBC News says is about 5.97 billion pounds. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but obviously we hear a lot about studios trading from one place to another. Obviously AT&T and Warner just broke up, and we've had lots of rumors about that, and that's really weird because that's only about 3 years those two companies have been together. But I don't know about you, I haven't heard anything about MGM shopping around or anything like that. Obviously Amazon would buy what they want to buy because they want to compete with Disney, but I never saw them buying MGM, I have to be honest.
No, it's quite random. I think BBC News says they were looking at the possibility of maybe selling since 2020. We're only halfway into 2021, so they've not explored that long. I mean, that's an incredible amount of money. I mean, they're saying here that they believe that this will then put the Bond franchise on Amazon Prime. It kind of worries me going forward a wee bit now about Bond. I don't know why. I'm just a bit... I mean, they're saying here they plan to protect the Lion and keep the Lion's history throughout Hollywood. Like, you know, the usual corporate rubbish. We want to protect a storied company. I can't trust Amazon. Don't even pay their tax. I'm terrified.
Yeah, there is something about it that feels weird because, yeah, obviously we're going to Bond because that's the big MGM movie we're waiting for. And it just feels strange because Bond is one of those tentpole franchises that you always think of. Oh, every 2 to 3 to 4 years, I can go to a cinema. I can watch a Bond movie. But with Amazon owning the studio that makes Bond movies, that has the potential to just change the entire landscape from my point of view. It's slightly terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to try and give us like another series of Bond. Well, I suppose there was a TV series of Bond, but it wasn't really Bond. It was more based around the spy, wasn't it? The writer. I don't know if you remember that ill-fated season.
Yes, this
played by,
was fairly recent, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Fleming, I think it was called. Obviously based on Fleming, who Bond is kind of based on, because he wrote it. Kind of. Even though it's based on another Russian spy. Anyway, but I wonder if they'll start fanning them out and will we get big changes and I don't know. Maybe like what's the next Bond film going to be? Like this conglomerate business owner's the villain? Like I feel like Amazon are Bond villains. Wow. It's a massive amount of money. It's massive. It's terrifying.
Yeah, this is I know we're 8.5 years post Disney buying Lucasfilm, and that was 4 billion, I'm pretty sure. So this is just, I mean, we're entering a new age. Let's just put it that way. Like, and really, just like, obviously, I'm just still processing this right now, just thinking about all this. As I say, we've just figured out this news, but I have to say, it does kind of make sense that MGM would want to team up with someone now that I'm thinking about it, because we all know MGM, most big studios, they have 2 or 3 big franchises they can rely on, but MGM only really have Bond. And to like put that in perspective, for me, like their second biggest franchise, I don't even think they have it anymore. The one that I think of as their second biggest franchise is Child's Play. So
yeah.
So we all know that the Bond movies end up in trouble every 15 years or so. Like after the Timothy Dalton films, they were in money troubles and it took them a while to get back on board with Brosnan. And then there was that gap between Quantum of Solace and Skyfall where they had money troubles. So maybe it does make sense that MGM would want a powerhouse like Amazon behind them. But yeah, it's weird. You say protect the lion. It's weird. Like just this morning, I don't know, the way you stumble through Wikipedia pages when you're on there, you'll end up on a journey kind of thing. I ended up looking up the history of the MGM line today, not even knowing about this news, and just reading about the various lines they've had in their openings. And yeah, that's slightly encouraging that they would keep that logo alive. And yeah, everything's going to change basically. It'll just be the line, but it'll mean something totally different.
Do you think weirdly to me this signifies like that cinema's dying? I'm starting to get that feel now that cinema is dying and it's all streaming services, because Amazon are farting at the originals. Like, did they not recently just literally buy all the rights to nearly every Tom Clancy story?
Yeah, that's right, because Without Remorse didn't start with them, didn't it? It was supposed to come out with some other studio, but then because of COVID, Amazon ended up buying it. So,
and I know they do Jack Ryan, which is it? No, Jack Ryan's not a Tom Clancy thing, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It is. There you go. There you go. So they own that. They're buying all the spies. We get a remake of Hunt for Red October, which now I'm like, God, that was a Tom Clancy.
It was that'd be terrifying. But yeah, there's plenty of other Jack Ryan books to do, but. You just think, I haven't seen Without Remorse, but I've heard it ends with the tease for Rainbow Six. So you just think, okay. Yeah. So you just think, so you're going to try and have this shared universe of Jack Ryan and John Clark and all these spies, and Rainbow Six is your big team up. So
and then we're going to get hot with like Ghost Recon and all these other mob and Hawks was it? I think was the other game. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew up.
Going to get a Splinter Cell movie.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be too actually that bothered. I'm pushing here for a Gears of War film. I'm getting really raging that they're giving us all these other gaming films, and I just want a Gears of War film. But I wouldn't be too far pushed for a Splinter Cell film now, Peter. No, because it would be a Jack Ryan film. No, I don't. I don't need another spy film. No, you push me onto Amazon to agree with them. Stop it. They're evil. They're conglomerate. They're ruling the world. We're doomed, Peter.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you here, because like we're fast tracking towards that point where it's only about 3 or 4 big businesses owning all the entertainment you go after. So yeah, I mean the Disney thing was, massive. I was like quite, part of me was like taking what was good about the Disney thing, just like the fact that we'll have X-Men and Fantastic Four under the Marvel wing again, etc. That's good, but you really look at what that means for the wider film industry and what we're seeing today with this deal, it just shows that I don't know, what do we end up in a world 20 years from now where studios wage war? Is it the Metal Gear Solid future where they talk about private military companies and all war in the future is a business decision, you know?
Funny you say that. I know there is a Metal Gear Solid film being made, is there not?
There is, yes. And maybe it'll be a comment on its times by the time it comes. Who knows?
Stop it. It's really mad thinking about it. Because it was Disney. Was it Disney that bought Fox? Or is
It was
some
Disney,
things from Fox, or is
Disney
Fox
bought Fox. Well, Fox is still a news corporation, but all of its film and TV assets are with Disney now. So
it's hard to tell now that who owns who. Like, I get confused when like AMC, is that itself, or is that Warner Brothers, or is Warner Brothers itself now, or is that way like somebody else? Is HBO owned by somebody? I'm becoming really confused. I've given up.
Sure. Doesn't Warner own HBO or have
They probably do.
Yeah, because all the Warner stuff ends up on HBO Max. So yeah.
Although apart from the factor that you could have watched Aye, because then now TV, that whole confusion issue about trying to watch the Justice League was breaking my brain.
Yeah, folks, don't yell at us. We're in the UK. We don't understand your
Aye.
US politics, your US TV and film politics. So
Aye, it's confusing me now. I'm scared. I just know cinema is probably on the way out now. I think which is pretty sad actually. I mean, cinema's a day out. Don't get me wrong, streaming services are handy. They are. I'm not going to sit here and complain about them, but I did enjoy this. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I hope to see Bond still in the cinema after this one, because I think Amazon, have they actually put anything in the cinema, or is it always just straight to? I mean, my telly's there. That's why I'm pointing at. By the people wonder why I'm pointing to my telly.
I think there has been some things that have had like limited showings in cinemas. Like, I'm pretty sure the Suspiria remake, which I loved that movie. Like a lot of people didn't see it, but that was Amazon, I'm pretty sure, and I saw that in the cinema. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of for me, music. What would music be without live gigs?
Well, yeah, football without the fans. That's the other one.
That's the thing.
It's funny. We're sitting here slating streaming services. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be talking about a film based on specifically on a streaming service, but Amazon can bite it. They've ruined us.
Yes. Well, I'm sure we'll be revisiting this topic in the weeks to come because, of course, we're probably going to have news about what's happening with Warner Brothers. So we'll see the future very soon. So I feel like let's get on to some lighter fare, shall we? Let's talk about people being eaten by zombies. Because I know everyone at home is probably going, hey, what's going on? Aren't you supposed to be talking about comic book movies this week? But I don't know, just kind of a last minute thing. Robert saw Army of the Dead. I saw Army of the Dead, and we just kind of talked and said, hey, do you want to review this? And yeah, it's nice to, in this world where we can't go into the cinema, it is at least nice to be able to keep up with new releases. So here we are, 2 months later, 2 months after Justice League, talking about another Zack Snyder film, Robert.
Yep. I'm not complaining. I'm a fanboy. The man does nothing wrong in my eyes.
Cool. And let's hope that something happens with Warner Brothers to give you your Justice League sequels. So
they don't. I'll find a way to buy them myself.
So this movie, Army of the Dead, it's kind of a weird history with this one because I don't know about you. I heard about this movie years ago because there was apparently rumors right after his Dawn of the Dead came out, like even before he'd done 300 and Watchmen, any of that stuff, that he was going to make a sequel to Dawn of the Dead called Army of the Dead. So when this movie got announced after he left Justice League, it was just kind of a weird, wait, so is this the same movie, or has he like repurposed the scripts and now it's its own thing? Like quite obviously, now that we've seen the movie, it isn't a sequel to his Dawn of the Dead.
Definitely.
But I can kind of see it in like an alternate universe. You could kind of like see how it could have been a sequel to Dawn of the Dead. Like I could definitely see the Batista character in this film being Bing Rames from the previous film. But obviously the way the zombies are set up in this film, the whole universe of it isn't a sequel. But what was your anticipation like for Army of the Dead, Robert?
Well, it's got two things that I like. It's got Zack Snyder and it's got zombies. And I'm a sucker for that. I like zombies. Just give me zombies and I'm happy enough. I'm trying to think when I first heard about it on like the social media when pages was like, oh, Zack Snyder's making another zombie film. Oh, and then obviously Netflix, I think we're doing a lot of advertisement for it. You weren't getting any trailers, you were just maybe seeing a picture of it. And I was like, oh, very interesting. And then I think Batista started to talk about it more. So I think my anticipation was pretty high. I felt like as it got closer and closer to the release date, there was more and more. When I first seen the trailer, I was up here for it. Not maybe as high as it was the Justice League. Like that was, through the roof. I was out my skin for that. But the anticipation for this, I think, felt quite high. A lot of people were talking about it. It did seem to have a lot of more social media talk as well. but I don't know if that was again because Netflix were heavily pushing it. And in a weird way, you always seem to, I don't know if you noticed this as well, there was a lot of articles about this is the only cut of this film. And I think it was because it was Zack Snyder that was directing it. And obviously coming off the back of the Justice League, everybody was like, oh, you know, a lot of interviews, it was like, did Netflix or the other studios get involved? And they went, no, they just let me do my thing. And I think that's where a lot of build-up seemed to come, because people wanted to see, well, will Zack Snyder be allowed to create the film that he wants? So it's weird.
Yeah. Like you raise like quite a pertinent point, because we're kind of in, can't believe I'm saying this, we're kind of in a golden age of Zack Snyder right now, because even like as you say, he's been talking about how he got to do what he wanted with this movie. He's been just saying stuff he's never said before, like, oh, Sucker Punch was totally compromised. The studio interfered with that all over the place. And
yeah, I read that as well. It was interesting. I've not seen that film, so I couldn't comment on what it's like, but I did see a lot of interviews with that.
I don't know, this kind of changes the whole perspective on Zack Snyder, because I know a lot of people's perspective had been, oh, you got his oeuvre, but then you have Sucker Punch, which is easily his, again, I haven't seen it, but most people will say it's easily his worst film. And some people wanted to point to that as, oh, he only succeeds when he's adapting comic books, and this is his original idea, and he's totally failed with it. But maybe this year with Justice League and now Army of the Dead, that conversation will change, and it'll just be the story of this guy who's constantly been interfered with by studios and now is getting to do what he wants to with his movies. So yeah.
Really?
I will say though, like, let's talk about the runtime of the movie. Like, that was scary when I first saw the runtime, just like thinking 2.5 hours. Who the hell makes a 2.5 hour zombie movie? Like, even go back to like, he did, you're right, he did. Like, even go back to, we talk about the original Dawn of the Dead, Romero's being kind of like this epic story, but that's only about 2 hours and 10 minutes, something like that. So this is something new, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know again if it was because it streams, it's a streaming thing, and I feel like that's becoming quite a lot more with the Netflix originals and the Amazon originals. I feel like they are giving us a bit longer because you're in your comfort of your own home. I mean, watching it, I didn't really notice the time. I didn't notice the 2.5 hours, but again, if I was in the pictures, maybe it would have been different. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I didn't know the length of the movie until right before I hit play. Like, I just logged into Netflix, and then I saw 2.5 hours? This movie is 2.5 hours. And then, but yeah, I honestly, I was not bored by the pacing in this movie at all. Like, it's like we say with Justice League, like, that movie spent 90 minutes setting up the characters before you got into the action, really. This movie does the same thing. Like, a lot of it is showing showing the world, showing the characters where they are in this world, and then showing how and why they're going to come back together into this story. So yeah, pacing wasn't a problem with me in this movie. So I guess we should just talk about the plots, basically. So if you haven't seen any trailers for this movie, and yeah, as we always say, we're going to spoil the movie here. Like, we're not holding back. We want to talk about the movie and just everything that happens in it. So this is your warning. If you've not seen it and you're going to see it, just go and watch it and come back, and we'll all have a discussion afterwards.
Yep.
So the plot of this movie is, and I kind of love that it starts this way, something is being transported from Area 51, or is it to Area? It's from Area 51, right? Yeah, because they're already out there.
Yeah. The flashing lights in the distance.
So yeah, this creature, this infected chap, is being transported from Area 51 and escapes the convoy, gets to Vegas, and then, of course, within days, Vegas is overrun and turned into this apocalyptic zombie territory. that is then walled off. And we cut to several years later, and we go to Batista's character, who I think his name is Scott. Scott Ward, I think, is the character's name. Yeah. So, and I'm going to apologize. I'm not going to remember any of these characters' names because they're all pretty much types in this movie. So I feel like we're going to refer to them by those types a lot of the time. So let's just call him Batista at this point. So Batista was someone who lived in Vegas and who escaped, but had to kill his wife in the process, who was zombieing out at the time, and is now estranged from his daughter ever since that day. And he's like a former military man who's now working as a chef in a burger joint, I'm pretty sure it is. And his daughter is a volunteer who's working at this camp outside of Vegas, just helping out all the displaced people who are living in there. So Batista is visited by Hiroyuki Sanada. Again, I'll go by the actor's name because I know him from other stuff. I cannot remember the character's name.
And he literally was just called Tanaka.
Tanaka. Cool. Tanaka. There we go. Cool. So Tanaka is this rich businessman who has a safe full of money in Vegas, but and has been paid by insurance companies for all the money that is stuck in Vegas, but has decided, hey, if I can send people in, we can get the money out and we can have the funds doubled, no questions asked. So he's recruiting Batista to go in and get the money, and Batista is, of course, bringing this team together of his old comrades, and just this diverse, cool team, bunch of character tropes again, obviously, character types. Then, of course, we get this. The movie basically unfolds as a heist movie from that point forward of these characters trying to get into Vegas. And, of course, Batista's daughter is going to become involved because one of her friends is in Vegas and she wants to go in and rescue this friend and cause lots of trouble for these like well-trained people who would normally just be able to do their job and then get out of there. And so hilarity ensues, basically. And yeah, I feel like we'll discuss everything else as we get into it, but have to start off here talking about the plots. Have to say, like, knowing the 2.5 hour runtime and then seeing the opening scene where we're establishing that, these zombies have something to do with space in Area 51. Part of me was thinking, the 2.5 hour runtime is going to be because we'll have 90 minutes of a zombie movie, and then in the last hour we'll go to Area 51. But I don't know. We didn't get that. We didn't get that, which was, I don't know, that could have been fun, but no. So what do you think about the setup of this movie, Robert?
I weirdly think when I was watching it, I don't know if you get this feeling, it was a heist. I mean, there is a significant plot twist. Well, I say a significant plot twist. There is a plot twist because I'm allowed to. Can I talk about how the heist was technically a cover up?
Yeah, let's go into this. Let's just go into spoilers right away. Yeah. And I will also say, like, I forgot to mention in the plot summary, there's the looming threat of the fact that Vegas is going to be nuked within 24 hours. So
everything you want, money, time. So you've got we'll jump through that. There's another plot going on. There's a lot of weirdness about this film, as Peter had said. There was the aliens, but then there was also they get to the vault and they find bodies of which would be another team, which then creates this whole maybe we've been here before and it's a weird time loop. I felt like it was like a really weird Zack Snyder thing to do, but he was creating all these fan theories because I feel like if you go on the net, there are so many fan theories like about they've been there before and they repeat themselves and I don't know that one mostly. But to just go into the quick spoiler, and I feel like there is a plot. I don't think the money. I think is a cover up. The money's there. Let's say that's right. The money is there, but you learn that there's been a fella sent by Tanaka to join them, and the woman, the coyote, as she's called, they got them into Vegas, has to get either a blood sample or the head of an alpha zombie, because that's what they're there for, because that can make them more money to create an army of the dead, so to speak. I mean, we're going to talk about the zombies later on, but that's basically that. Good plot twist. I mean, I don't know where to go. The plot was so... I really enjoyed the plot. Like, a lot of people moaned at the plot and said, oh, it's just so simple and stupid. And I'm going, well, what do you want? I mean, it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. But then again, I am a simple person. It's just a simple heist film with good action. That's what I want. Like I'm looking at the cast, and I like the cast. I'm a fan of Batista. I enjoy his ambition. I enjoy that he recognises that, is he the greatest actor of all time? No. He knows that, but he wants to make entertaining films. Like, he wants a Gears of War film, and he wants to be in films like this. He wants to be in Guardians. He wants to play Bane. He just wants to give us good, entertaining characters, and I've got respect for that. He was your typical tough guy. That whole thing with his daughter, and he was just so cool. But like where did I go with this? The wee storylines were great. I enjoyed the way the characters bounced off each other. In a sense, the German fella, as I just keep calling him, because he has got an awkward name, and I'm going to be the same as you, Peter. I'm not using his character name. He was so
Dieter.
awkward.
Dieter was the name of the character. That's the one I remember. Because, like, I have to be honest, I thought this guy was the, you know, in Inglourious Basterds, you have the whole scene in the tavern with the one guy who survives the shootout, who's the guy who's a new father and all that. I was convinced it was that guy, the full movie, but then I looked him up and it's not that guy. He looks just like him, so I don't know.
No. Well, apparently, just to put this out there, just while I'll quickly jump on him, apparently he was talking about there's a prequel getting made and he's going to be directing it.
Yeah.
I said, I've seen that. Like, I'm weirdly, okay. Like, the film's getting a lot of branches already, which I find quite madness. There's an animated film with Joe Magnaglio starring in that.
Yeah, which is supposed to be about, the anime is supposed to be about Vegas during the outbreak. And then the film about Dieter is just him doing his safe cracking, no zombies, I suppose.
There's a lot of branches for this film, which, okay, I'm quite like, okay. I mean, but, where do you talk about this film? I feel like there is a lot going on in the film. For such a simple film, there is so much going on.
Let's just focus on the characters for the moment, because we do spend a lot of the first 45 minutes, I suppose, just recruiting the team, getting them all back together. And I'll tell you, I quite like this. I quite like that they spent time on this. Like, maybe they're not the deepest characters, as I say, they're all types, but you get their relationships with each other, I suppose. Like, for instance, I like the fact that we have, like, one character who's like brought in by someone else who they've recruited, who then just ditches them right at the start of the briefing, just saying, "What? You never said this was to do with zombies. I'm out of here." And normally in like a cliched movie, that character would come back and be a problem for them, but in this movie, that character is just there to say, "No, if it's zombies, I'm out. You people are crazy." So
he knows. He knew. You've also got the characters. I felt was like a game, a heist game. You're just told your character's special skills, a little bit about their background, but you still go along with them. So Batista being the Medal of Honor, awarded soldier, big hero, saving people through zombie Vegas, lost his wife. Then you had is it Cruz, who was like the mechanic, the female who was in love with him, kind of. You had her doing the same. You had Tig Notaria's character, who, by the way, I don't know if you knew, I didn't really know this. She was digitally imposed.
I read this. I read that just recently, just after I'd seen the movie. Like, it was like a male actor apparently who was accused of sexual harassment and had to be taken out of the movie, and now she is digitally imposed over him, which I did not notice. I will say, would not have noticed.
It was amazing. It was brilliant. Technically, never interacted with any of the characters. Had one scene with Cruz, and that was it. But her character was fantastic. She plays the pilot who is really there to fix the old rubbish chopper that's there. She's got a great scene where she's talking about, is it the power of balance? Like, of course, the safecracker can't die, but surely after him it's me because I'm your escape. And it was, I like that scene. It was quite, because it's true. You think about in zombies, who's more important? Where does the list go? Who's expendable?
Yeah, it does. It does really like harken back to like Shaun of the Dead, for instance, where you do break down tropes of zombie movies. Obviously, yeah, I loved her introduction as well. That we had the scene of her, like them going to recruit her and her saying like, "Okay, good, I'm in. It'll be fun to get the gang back together." Then they're like, "Oh, don't you want to know what we're doing?" It's like, "No, it'll be fun." So what about Vanderhoof? Is kind of like the next to Batista. He's kind of like the group badass, I suppose you'd say.
He was just cool, wasn't he? Like, he was the big chainsaw. That was his baby. That was it. Oh, he was, well, not a chainsaw. They call them. I don't know what you call it. Power disc tool cutter thing. I don't know. Just everything about him. Like, I think the scene that just summed up just how just nothing phases him was when they get to the tunnel and it's him, the German fella, and the guy with the blonde hair, and it's like, how do they set off these traps? And he's just walking away grabbing zombies and just like, when you go, it's just so cool. Such a great character. He was brilliant with the German guy. That
Yeah,
whole
that's
annoying son kind of thing, annoying like character, but he was great.
yeah. It makes you wonder what were they going for a father son thing there? Do you think, or were they going for Dieter being into Vanderhoof? Like I kind of read it that way,
Yeah,
possibly.
I got the whole "you're my hero" weird kind of like, you amaze me because you're so cool, and what's this for and what's that for and how did you do that? I got that weird hero complex for it. How do you do this? How do you do that? How did you just shut up? Shut up.
Yeah, and this kind of demonstrates what we're saying about the movie. Like these are character types, but there's a bit more than just character types to them because Vanderhoof, when you first see him, he's working. I think it's like an assisted living place he's helping out at, and
Oh,
also just
amazing.
his, yeah, it was cool, and also just his relationship with Dieter. Like, there's a way that could go where like he would just get totally annoyed by Dieter, but then Dieter would do the cliched, oh, brilliant thing that earns his trust.
Yep.
But I feel like they do it more naturally in this film, where like he's like, yeah, Dieter, you're annoying, but
Yep.
we're on the same team and we're gonna be work together, so let's do this. It worked.
Uh, I will almost protect you despite the fact that you drive me up the wall and I'd love to shoot you. Like, I did like that. He was just such a great character. Just that whole scene again with the traps just pulling the zombie out of the way. It was good. Such a cool character. Uh, then you've got the other, the kind of fella I'd mentioned with the blonde hair.
It's an interesting inclusion because obviously Guzman is a YouTuber through and through who's
And
just
that's
there
it.
for he's just there for the thrill of it, basically, where he's going to just do all these trick kills of zombies and record them for his channel, and it's not the days of a character Romero would have included in the zombie movie, but it's the right character to include in a modern zombie
Yep.
movie, basically.
Yep, that is it. I mean, YouTubers are almost celebrities, and he's had his kills. Although I don't know, it was just it was useless, but I enjoyed them. Like, he didn't bring it. Well, he did bring something to the team. He was a charismatic character, but in terms of would you have brought him along for a bank robbery with zombies? I probably wouldn't have.
See, I feel like he was competent at least, whereas
Yep.
Dieter's there for to break open the safe when they get there. He would not make it without the
No.
rest of them. But this guy, you believe, okay, he can hold his own. He's not
Yep.
he's not particularly imposing, but he's not a problem for you either,
No.
basically. And Lily as well, thought she was obviously she's one of the first ones killed when they're in Vegas because she's pretty sure she's the one who figures out that the guy working for Tanaka has this secret agenda, and he tricks her into falling into a trap of zombies, but she was pretty competent, I felt, as well. Like, you bought into her.
She took a few out before she took a demise. That scene was great in the corridor. I like that. Just boom, boom, have that. When they walk in and the zombies are almost sleeping. Well, the shufflers are sleeping. Again, we'll go to the different types of zombies because I feel like there's a full conversation about them. Even though I feel like the other zombies are split between the leader and the. We'll get to that. Yeah, I enjoy all the characters. Again, even the daughter, like, you knew from the start the daughter was going to be an annoyance, like most daughters in films. She was agitated to save her friend, which is pretty noble. I don't think they could really have a go with that. But almost killing people in the process is pretty annoying at the same time.
Yes, she makes drastically terrible decisions by the end of this movie, and on the one hand, like, that could just be the character and has just been the character in so many of these films, but she does have a personality, like, you buy into her. Like, she does not belong in this zombie wasteland. She shouldn't have come with them, shouldn't have forced herself to come with them. But like, when she was working in the camp at the start of the movie, you totally bought into her as well. Like, she was likable and good at her job and everything. So I feel like that's important to establish. Like, same thing with Dieter, as we've said. He is good at opening safes, but he doesn't belong in the zombie territory.
It's an interesting thing to go back to Dieter. Do you think Dieter's dead? Because that old horror trope in it, if you don't see it, do you clue them? Because again, spoiler alert, but we know.
Because he closed Vanderhoo in the safe, and then he was just like carried off, but you didn't see him die, did you?
No, you never see his body, you never see anything about him. So it's interesting. I was thinking about that the other day, and I went, oh, that's an interesting point. Just to go back onto his character quickly, I mean, I think there's not a depth thing about the characters. They are simple, but I think the simplicity of them with their little detail helps, because you are invested enough in them. I cared for Batista's character all through the film. I really want Batista to do well. I was there every moment. So when, spoiler again, but again, we've said this, when they started to go, I started to go, oh no. Even that emotional scene with Cruz where she goes, I'll go with you, Batista, pretty cliche. I love you and I'll go with you. Cool, zombie, neck snap. I was even like, no, even I was a bit like, no, kill them, Batista, kill them all.
It was almost like a better version of the scene in Rambo 2 where the love interest dies that we talked about a few weeks ago.
I seen someone compare it to Deep Blue Sea, that whole brilliant speech from Samuel L. Jackson, and it's just like, bye-bye. And you're kind of going, no. I think the characters were enough for you to enjoy them and care for them. Well, I did anyway. I mean, I cared for the characters. I liked them. Every time I've watched it 6 times. I enjoy the film. I enjoy it more because it's long, as we've said, and I feel like I'm starting to notice a bit more as every time I've watched it. But we'll get to all that later on.
Yeah, I love like that when we first discussed this, it was 3 days ago. You're saying, I've seen it 3 times, and now it's 3 days later, you've seen it 6 times, so you've literally seen it once for every day it's been out. So
it's got me thinking. Little details just here, there. More about the zombies, or are they? Well, is one of them a zombie? That's my mean. Oh, sorry, before we just move on again. There is one character I think we've missed. We spoke about the coyote. What about the horrible guard?
If you know what I mean. Yeah. He was interesting because the actor Theo Rossi, he's awesome. Theo Rossi. Like, I don't know if you watched the.
That's what
he was in Sons of Anarchy, wasn't he? I didn't watch that, but like I knew him from the Luke Cage Netflix series, which he was Shades, one of the villains, and he was awesome in that. Probably the best part of that show. So it was cool. I mean, not much of like a character in this film, but like he brings something, So
he served a purpose.
Yeah, you wanted to see him die, and you were. I don't know. Part of you was kind of like upset for the character because I mean he was horrible, but you kind of like got the pleading from him when they sacrificed him. Really.
Although I like how they just stated it, like from the scenes he's a bit of an asshole, like the way he was acting towards people, and then when he was getting tied up and shot in the knee, the coyote lady was to go, he's a rapist, and you're kind of going, I will get some then, like, let him go. Like, although it was that one, they kind of all set up, didn't you, that, oh, he's coming back. They
Yeah.
set that lightly up that you knew, and I didn't care enough to know. I knew he was coming back, and I never ruined it for me. I was looking forward to seeing him coming back somehow. Again, I think, as we've said, the characters are simple, but I feel like they were all effective. Like, they were all effective at their job to get you there and get you into the team.
Yeah. Same thing with the coyote. Like, we've talked about her briefly, but like, could just be the character, the perfunctionary character who takes them inside and who you would possibly just not like because she's doing this reprehensible thing of taking people into this wasteland. But she's definitely one of the team as soon as they get in there, and is as badass as the rest of the team. So yeah,
and she's cool. She is pretty cool. Yeah, she has that moments as well of coolness. I feel like this film is just Zack Snyder, and is it cool? That's pretty cool. There you go.
The coolness. Let's just talk about Vegas for a minute. I loved the opening montage after the breakout scene where like you just see Vegas being ravaged by zombies, and I don't know, you see one of these classic residency legacy singers who's zombied out and is just killing people, and it's like yeah, that could be Shania Twain or one of these people who just does these residencies in Vegas who's now a zombie. So yeah, it was cool.
I like looking at that. It was the action. I liked the whole montage with the song, and it was like you play it, and they were all just singing away as all this action was unfolding. You know, you had zombie Elvis being crushed by like the Eiffel Tower in Vegas. Had the man with the wig getting killed. It was, do you know, it almost reminded me as a kind of more actiony, funny version of the start of Zombieland. Remember Zombieland had that kind of weird couple of scenes.
Yeah.
And this was just like that with more budget and a lot funnier and a lot actiony. While it also weirdly showing you some of the characters as well, like showing you their heroics and their emotional distress from Batista.
Yeah,
like that woman being crushed by the wall.
Yeah, because like that, this is like just compliment about how good a setup it is for the movie. Like that woman being crushed by the wall, you like bought into her even in those couple of minutes montage.
Yeah, that's it.
You bought into her as one of that team who you thought was going to be one of that team for the full film, but no, she's dead right there at the start.
Yeah, you feel Batista's pain. I felt his pain. I wanted to be there for him, just black. There, you big muscly man, just there, have a napkin. Yeah, the montage was great. I just loved the action, the plane, the bombings, and just how it just became so erratic, just so war zone. From police officers shooting on the street to AC-130s and Thunderbolts just bombing the strip. Just so good. And then obviously the zombie picking its home, or the alpha, the lead, picking his home. It's weirdly interesting in that wee section.
Yeah, and that's something about this movie is that obviously it chooses its moments kind of thing where like you do go long periods without action and you have like kind of, but when you get to the action it delivers. And the same thing with the zombies, like you might be kind of thinking, oh, this movie's kind of lackluster as far as the zombies go in the first half, but then you get the zombies you want in the second half. And the same thing with like the extraterrestrial aspect, the fact that these are probably this is probably some space virus that's escaped Area 51 and started infecting people. That like makes you buy into the nature of the zombies as these two classes of zombies basically. And I feel like we just have to talk about the zombies now. So
yeah, because it's hard not to, because I was weirdly intrigued. Like people get you've got your normal shuffling zombies, which you know in a crowd are pretty dangerous. They look great. You know, I think the zombies looked great. Even the alphas, they looked great. You know, I think they created the alpha zombies are the really interesting ones. It's not just they're fast, like you know they can run. They're strong. They seem to dodge rounds and they know how to fight. It's weird. They think, but you've got your. See, this was the one I was always trying to figure out. The creation was it if you're bit by the, let's say, the king you become an alpha, but if you're bit by just another alpha, you become a shuffler. Is that the
I
standard
think
of it?
that's what they're going for, because the king, I'm pretty sure, is supposed to be the original who escaped from Area 51, right? So yeah, if you're bitten by him, you're an alpha, but if you're bitten by anyone else, you're just a standard zombie, basically.
It was. I liked how they created a society for the zombies right at the start when they appear. It's like, look, we have to kill, as we explained, they killed this bad guard, and it was like, we'll sacrifice him off and they'll let us just continue our business unharmed. And it was weird. It was like it was almost a trade system. The Queen zombie was cool. Looking like, I felt like the alphas were brilliant, looking the face, the makeup, and all of that. Just the way they looked was brilliant. I mean, there is a very special zombie animal that I'm sure. I don't know if you'd like to talk about that, or would you like to continue on about the alpha?
Oh, this was cool, man. This was just the introduction of there's, I don't know, you don't expect. They say never work with children, never work with animals, so you don't expect gravitas from an animal, even though it's a CGI animal, but this half deformed zombified tiger that's walking around Vegas just strutting its stuff, and who is basically, I don't know, kind of like the soul spirit animal for the zombie king. This was awesome, man. This was, and like,
just so cool. Just the way it was, just, I loved it. It was just the introduction for it. Do you hear that noise? Get down. And it's just like, they know what it is. It was, it just looked so cool. There's something about zombie animals that just makes you go, that's cool. That's pretty cool. I don't know why.
And the fact that at the end of the movie, it's the one that kills the spy in their group that's working for Danica, that was so satisfying, honestly.
Yeah. I'm glad. I had a really horrible feeling that we would have seen the zombie tiger and that would have been it. We'd have never seen it in action. So to see it in action would just made me so happy. Even if it was like the most cliche kind of thing where the bad guy escapes, I'm scot-free, and it's like he looks behind him and it's there. I couldn't really care less. And I mean, the zombie tiger was brutal. Like when it was killing him, it was brutal. Picking pieces off him. I thought it was brilliant scene.
Yeah, like we can't sum that up more than we have. I think it's
just such a cool. The CGI was great. Even like, I mean, the special effects for this was great. I enjoyed it. I feel like you could have a whole spectrum, but just on the King Alpha Zombie, you don't feel it's a full. Because I was really intrigued. Because I was saying this to my dad earlier as well. I mean, there's obviously the whole romance that they've created that the Alphas feel, and we'll get to that. But I never felt like the King Alpha was a real zombie. Well, a zombie in the sense that we've said that your mind can go, but his hair had grew, and I mean, these weren't just faster zombies. Like, he created a helmet because he knows that a round to the head kill him, so he created like this weird helmet. He's almost created a society. And again, just this fact that his hair had grown, that to me was like, okay, a zombie that's grown.
Yeah, this character was something else, basically, because like he does feel like I don't know, if every other zombie are aliens, xenomorphs, this guy is the predator, you know, the smart one who's gonna think through every situation, and who's gonna be this totally tough badass you're gonna be terrified of. Basically, I know that like this is again a thing of like me talking about how in the first half of the movie some concepts you don't know how they're going to play out. Like the whole like thing of the zombies are basically this cult that we have to sacrifice to if we're going to move through Vegas. I was kind of like, I'm not sure how this is going to go, but like the sequence where like they've beheaded his queen. And like he's opening up the corpse and he's pulling out the fetus, and you find out the queen was pregnant, and like you're terrified at that point because you can see the rage from that king zombie, and like he is just terrifying from that moment forward. Just feels like I called him a predator a minute ago, but he's almost like the Terminator from the first Terminator movie, where like this unstoppable madman is after them for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it was just, even that fetus, it was shiny blue. which was like a whole alien thing. It was just the fact that his rage had no bounds, basically, because he wasn't just coming in and just killing them. Like when he was fighting the fella with the chainsaw, whose name you know, and I don't, the fella for power, he almost wasn't just right like a zombie. I'll just kill you. He was toying with him, breaking his arm, crushing his hand. He was toying with him, hurting him, which is a very rage, like, you've killed the thing I love, I'm going to really hurt you. I just think that character, for which never spoke, was just a really interesting character, just driven by hatred, which is again unusual for zombies, apart from 20 Weeks Later with their rage virus. But this almost was like it had lost, and it wanted revenge all in the same, which is unusual for zombies to want that. Even the way, again, quick spoiler, as we've constantly said, even when you look at it, right, so zombies get their heads blown up, that's how they die, destroy the brain. His head goes and it's all shiny blue, which is that to me going, oh. Even his death was interesting. I was like, thinking, going, oh, you're not normal. Oh, what are you? Are you an alien? Like, I was just sitting for pure ages going, oh, amazing. I was just amazed by it. I just thought, no, the zombies were interesting, which is weird.
Yeah, definitely. It's. I mean, we've said it several times. Zombie movies are the hardest thing to do something new with.
Yep.
But this did feel like it had its own spin on the zombie genre. Like, from going in the first half, like it felt like the zombies were just a means to an end in the story. Like, they need to be the threat that's there so that you feel danger when they're doing this heist. Then they become the actual threat in of themselves in the second half, and it's dynamite. It's terrifying. Like,
it's just everything about it. Yeah, because the first trailer, I think, if I remember rightly, made it out if the zombies were all just shufflers, didn't it? And then I think was it another trailer that then introduced this. Well, by the way, there are zombies that are not shufflers that are just going to eat meat. They are thinking, they are aggressive. Also, where did they get the horse for? That was cool as well. This zombie had rode a horse into battle with a big spear and a metal like helmet. He was instantly, that zombie became one of the coolest characters in this film.
That was another shocking sequence for, like, because you have like it established most of them are in the casino doing the heist, but Kate's gone off to find her friend in this hotel.
Yep.
And when like the king and all his zombies like turn around to go to the hotel to kill Kate and her friend, you're like, oh, this will be all right. Like they'll like take a bit of time to get there, but Batista will get there in the helicopter and save her. It's like, oh no, he's riding a horse there. He'll be there in seconds. It's
just amazing. I don't know. It's to me, it was the classic Zack Snyder type of film. Is it entertaining? Yes. Would I? Oh, I've watched it again. I've watched it numerous times because it is quite an entertaining film. It's just what I want from a zombie film. You're right. It's hard to make a different type of zombie film because initially I thought, oh, some zombies run. Oh, okay, we've had that now. Oh, some might think, but these just didn't feel like zombies. The alphas, I don't know. The whole society, the fact that they could get pregnant led me to believe, going, well, that's a bit weird. Are they dying or do they know?
Almost makes you wish that Snyder had put this zombie king into one of his DC films and have him fight Batman or Superman. You know, it almost works on that level.
It makes me want to give him the Justice League. Sorry, well, Justice League like Death, the Green Lanterns with the Death Core and all that. I want that. Give him that. They were cool. Are they the coolest? Where do you think these? We'll take it to shufflers because the shufflers were your normal zombie. Where would you put the alpha of Army of the Dead in with other zombies?
It's hard to say because obviously Romero made probably the two best zombie movies ever, Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, but he's not actually interested in the zombies in those films. No. He's interested in the human story, so you don't really count. I wouldn't really count those zombies. I'd say these guys might be second to the Rage virus zombies from 28 Days Later because
Possibly, yeah.
The rage zombies in that movie were just
Were frightening,
yeah, and
unrivaled.
Yeah, it's almost like it almost makes you wish we got something like this in World War Z rather than just the
Don't get me started.
hordes, the faceless horde that we got in that movie.
Yeah, the scariest thing about them is they could join up like Lego and all that. That was weird. Or Cell zombies from that Stephen King film, Cell. They are. I'd say that they are probably one of the coolest zombies I've ever seen. The Alphas, especially that King Alpha, as I've said, who still intrigues me. Mainly an ability, as I keep pointing out, that he grew hair. How does a zombie grow hair? What? It's just that I don't know why that simple point of him going from a buzz cut to like long hair amazed me, but it did, and I'm still trying to figure it out.
See, I'm just connecting this now. That's where the long hair that should have been on Superman in Justice League went. Like everyone was complaining. Yeah, everyone's complaining that Superman just had his short hair after he's resurrected, but there it is on the Alpha King.
There it is, and a moustache and all that as well. The mullet, just there we go. Oh. Yeah, I mean, even the fight with Batista was great and all, because as we've said, the action scenes in this film are good. Batista running across what do you call them? The slot machines, just running, shooting, brilliant. Him going hand-to-hand combat with a knife against one of them. Him fighting the Alpha up in the helicopter. I feel like Batista had all the cool scenes, although some people did have other cool scenes. I think Batista took them all.
Yeah,
I wouldn't fight Batista.
Yeah, and that's just to sum up like how this movie goes towards the end is that like it seems like after a while it seems like such a simple operation that once they're inside the casino they can do this, they can get out, but like just the double take of the guy working for Danica taking the head for experimentation and just setting off the king, and also Batista's daughter going off to find her friends. That just escalates things so quickly, and those that last section of the movie, the characters just start dying so quickly, and you're just about. I mean, it's a really cool action scene, but at the same time, you're kind of like you're in a kind of like negative zone because you're like, oh no, the characters are all dying now, and like
I think that was weirdly some people's criticism, which I fair enough may get, but I think it kind of went with the film. So some people argued it was rushed. People just seemed to be dying, and I was kind of going, well, I didn't have an issue with that so quickly, like in the sense because it had all just went pear-shaped. Everything just went wrong. You've got these really super zombies killing you, so people are going to be dropping like flies. There's like 50 of them chasing you down.
Yeah, for me, it almost, dare I say, felt realistic to like a situation where things do go pear-shaped, did you say? Because I just had this like gut feeling during that sequence of like things have gone so wrong and everything's just toppling and I can't believe it. And like, oh, how much worse can this get? And
I started to panic and I started praying for Batista. I was like, come on, Dave, you'll survive because you're the hero. Then I thought, oh no, wait a minute, you're already a hero, which means you'll have the tragic, sad, heroic death that you deserve, but at the same time you don't deserve because I don't want you to die. That broke me. It was actually, that annoys me, like people say, oh, Batista can't bring anything to films. I weirdly cared for Batista's character. Again, as I say, I admire him. I think I enjoy him. That sounded weird. But just that scene, I was even just like, oh no, his daughter's going to have to shoot him in the head. No! Like I was hoping for like a cure. I was hoping by some wacky miracle somebody goes, no, Batista, you're the cure. You won't return. And I was just like, oh no, he's dead. He's been shot. God.
Yeah, and I have to say that was kind of like the ending weirdly did seem satisfying to me because he did save his daughter, but like at the same time there was kind of a feeling of okay, when everything went wrong, they had to leave without the money and all of them are dying. And like you're kind of resenting the daughter character at that point, like going, you've like dragged them away to rescue you and like they've all died. No one's gotten away with the money. So like nothing has been achieved here and it's all your fault. But like when Batista does save her and even though he's been bitten and she has to shoot him in the head, he does like say, "Oh, I've like managed to get you this pile of money, so you can like be set up, etc." It's like, oh, like something has been achieved. Like they've rekindled the relationship right before he dies, and she's set up for life, basically. Well, set up to
Be comfortable and save those 2 children.
Save the 2 children of the friend that she was trying to save. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good ending, I thought.
Yeah, it felt as almost like she was the only one destined to survive, excluding the mystery character that we have spoke about, but we haven't spoke about, because it wasn't until near the end of that film, right, that I was going, I wonder who he got on, actually, because he was sealed in that vault. How did he get on? I mean, I really enjoyed that last wee bit. That felt like a really satisfying end. I don't know why. It felt like an after credit scene.
It did. It almost felt bait and switch kind of thing, where like, I don't know, we talked about how like the scenes with all the Icelandic people singing in Justice League kind of felt like the scene too far in that movie, where like it's like, okay, this would not be here if you had to cut stuff for a theatrical run. Like the climax where Vanderhoes made it out having locked himself in the safe, and now he's out of Vegas after the nuke's gone off. That almost felt like a bonus feature kind of thing, where like he's like, okay, I've brought my bag of money with me. I'm the one who succeeded and got out. I'm going to hire this plane that's not for hire and stuff. And it almost felt like, okay, this is just a fun little short. But then we get the twist, folks. We get the twist that like he's been bitten by a zombie, so this infection's going to get out there. And yeah, that made that scene worth it as part of the real movie for me.
Because he's landed in New Mexico, so you're almost as if the music starts and you're like, oh, here we go, it's happening again. Weirdly opening you up for will we get a sequel? I was like, oh no, I know another one. I know a really likeable character. It's almost as if he just looked in the mirror and just went, yep, typical. I've got the money, but here's my bite. Where did he get the bite? I was so sitting there going, no! Can someone who I like just survive? Someone?
Yeah, and as you say, like, obviously we've got the 2 prequels, the 2 different prequels confirmed for, I think even later this year one of them's coming out, so...
Yeah, I think Joe Magnaglio, or Mangat, however you want to say that big fella's name, he'd said that the animation was done. I might be wrong. It's just when? Because I think they made that at the same time.
Well, it makes sense because, let's face it, this movie should have been out last year, I'm pretty sure, except for COVID, so yeah, I'm guessing they've had time to work on it, basically. So we've got those 2 confirmed, but in the last couple of days, Zack Snyder's just like come out talking about what a sequel might be if he makes one. So it sounds like if Warner Brothers makes the horrible decision, in a lot of people's opinion, to not bring back Zack Snyder for Justice League 2 and 3, he may go back to this universe. You never know. Listen,
Netflix have saved the day. A streaming service may have saved the day. No, I will not. I will not admit it. Can't. No. No, I'd be interested to see how a sequel would play out. The prequels I'm down for. Like, I think the anime is going to be a very interesting concept. The live action prequel, I forgot that fella's name now. If that is a live action prequel, that would be an interesting one. But a sequel, I want a sequel, but at the same time, I'm like, do I just want a sequel because of my enjoyment for the first film? How would the sequel play out? Because what type of zombie bit him? Was it just would he become a shuffler, or would he become an alpha, or how would it work? I don't know. What are zombie films? I don't know. Would the aliens reappear? Who knows?
Yeah, we need to bear in mind at the same time, all these characters are dead, so it's not going to be the same film even if we get a sequel.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Ving Rhames and Sarah Polley can show up from Snyder's Dawn of the Dead and do some big crossover. Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I you know that theory? Is this a sequel? And I'm just like, no. I don't remember any aliens in Dawn of the Dead or wackiness or stuff like that. Stop trying to link everything, you palms.
Well, maybe you could retcon this being a prequel to His Dawn of the Dead, because the thing with that is it's obviously a worldwide zombie apocalypse, but
Yeah.
this is contained to Vegas, so never know. Maybe once Vanderhoof got out there, he started the apocalypse we saw in Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
He around
You
the
never
world
know.
flying about these planes, just biting people and leaving again. Like COVID, people kept stopping him, they just kept walking in, biting people and going to different countries. Damn it.
There, we've got it. We've got the trilogy. Let's do this.
He's ruined it. He has killed us all. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I suppose this just ends on what are your final thoughts for Army of the Dead for our audience, basically.
Good question. I recommend watching it. I mean, but again, we've spoiled this, so if you have stuck through the spoilers, I would say still watch it because you need to experience it yourself. We only can give you a quick run through or even slightly detailed in some areas. You need to experience it yourself. I think it's a very entertaining film. It's despite it being 2.5 hours, I wasn't bored. Again, everyone's different. Some people might not like that, but again, it's a streaming service. Pause it, take a break, come back to it if you need be. I think it is a must watch. I think it is. It's a very different take on the zombie genre. I think Netflix are comparing it to Ocean's 11 versus Dawn of the Dead, like adjoining. Fair enough. I think they're just saying that because it's zombies and there's a heist in it. It is an entertaining, funny, brilliant action film. I recommend. I say it's a watch. I'd say it's a good watch. As simple as that. It's a classic Zack Snyder, entertaining film.
Yeah, and for me, like I've said, like I was kind of cautious about this movie, kind of skeptical, but I'd say even though I had misgivings in the first half of the film, I was always engaged with it. Like I liked the characters, I liked the vibe of the movie, and any issues I might have had, like the whole just setup of the zombie society and needing to sacrifice to them to get through Vegas, etc., and just really the lack of zombies in the first half of the movie, those things all got answered in the second half of the movie,
Yep.
got compensated for, etc. So, yeah, like not my favorite zombie movie ever made. Still, Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later are just phenomenal films to me. But this is a fun film, and honestly, the first time I've cared about a zombie film and since 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, probably. Like,
Yep.
and Shaun of the Dead, obviously. Like, so in a good decade, really. So, yeah, give it a watch. It's an hour. Can't believe it. We're saying this. It's 2 wins for Zack Snyder in the course of 2 years. So, 2 months. Yep. So, yeah, let's see where that takes him, I suppose.
I wonder if it's going to be like a boom for zombie films. Do you think they're going to be like a pop film everywhere now? I feel like we'll
See, I think yes, but I hope no, because every time we get a boom for zombie movies, so many bad ones come out.
They saturate to them. Yeah. I mean, I like zombie films, but yeah, they can become quite samey. Like my usual hatred for zombie films is if they're an hour and a half long, you'll get an hour of rubbish and then the last 30 minutes is zombies. Which this film doesn't do. Although Peter says there's bits we don't see them so much, it's explained, and when you do see them, it's cool. In majority of the film, I think you see them, and again, they're cool. There's a zombie tiger. Come on, like, what else do you need? Come on. You know it's not an Oscar-winning Daniel Day-Lewis film, but he never fought any zombie tigers. I don't remember Tom Hanks fighting a zombie tiger. So, get it watched.
Yeah, so I'd say this has been a worthwhile diversion from our weekly schedule to go and review this movie. This was a fun one, and hopefully as movies start coming out again, we'll have more opportunities to just review new stuff. But for now, that is us. So I will say, Robert, thank you for joining me again.
You're welcome.
And we will be back next week to talk about comic book films. So to our audience, thank you for watching. See you next time. Welcome back to Crackerjack Movie Chat. I am, as always, your host. And some laughing's going on. Cool.
On. Continue.
Cool.
The characters were simple, but they're entertainingly simple.
By the way, you're frozen, by the way.
I've frozen earlier. Am I moving?
No, you've been like that for like a solid 20 seconds. Hold on.
You're moving in lines. I'm moving. Right, I know what's happened. I'm scared, Peter.
I know, let's leave it 10 seconds and see what happens. Yeah, nothing. Are you still there? Apparently not. Hello?